Well, hello everyone. And as promised, I just got back from Barbie, and I was on the fence about this one, but when I started seeing how positive the early reception was, and especially after the very unique campaign they had marketing to not just the target audience, but also people outside of it, which I'm definitely not the typical audience for a movie like this, but I definitely can appreciate interesting concept when I see it. And the moment they had this cast lined up, as well as like Greta Gerwig in the director's chair, writing script alongside Noah Baumbach, that's like the Leo meme. Have my curiosity, I have my attention. So let's begin. The film home stars Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as some of many Barbies and Kens who are living their best lives in the Dreamhouse, where everything's the party. But one day, hey, she starts to wonder if there's something more, and which sends her on a journey not only self-discovery, existentialism, but also crossing paths with everyone from the high chain of command at Mattel, the CAO, which is played deliciously by Will Ferrell, but also a designer, who is having her own kind of crossroads, played by Emil Carrera of Ugly Betty fame. And let me say, I argued before this was how long I've been trying to get this one made. That's the only way we really could do an adaptation like this, is to fully acknowledge just how has the potential, and they do indeed work in all facets of the toy, and even elements and which actually only people really really deep cut references, like Michael Cera's character as L, and like I won't be getting into every single detail here, but something definitely threw me for a loop. That's like, yeah, like wise. I can understand how some people feel about some of the jokes being kind of risque, but I think for the most part they're gonna mostly fly over the heads of like the younger audience members. I mean, I definitely understood heard a lot of them and was laughing quite hard. And people I knew, I could totally imagine kind of a scenario like this when they were playing. I mean, given how every potential occupation from doctor to lifeguard to bricklayer to justice to Jedi Master to Kree, warrior, to everything in between. All he needs is his imagination for a young woman, and the rest basically writes itself. Or young man. I'm not trying to judge here. I mean, but some of the jokes I laugh the hardest at with various Kens, not just Gosling, who, given how he's been voted in People, he's the most qualified to play him. I've also Simu Liu, and also John Cena as the Mer Person Ken. You see more than you do in the promotion. That's just all the jokes. Count on that. And also, of course, the soundtrack is also quite. It's good. I mean, the Pink album has been available on everything from Apple Music to like your own Pink vinyl LP. And of course, Barbie's not the only one who has their own existential crisis of sorts. I mean, trust me, once you see this, if you're willing to, the I'm Just Ken number is basically a way of getting out, trying to figure out who he is in relation to Barbie in some form. The choreography is quite impressive, and yes, he does know how to flip by the end. And because it's basically, you can definitely have a lot going on there. I mean, and its success and acclaim does bode well for other future Mattel adaptations, presumably once all the strikes are over. I don't know about all of them to have in mind, but personally, a couple pictures I've got off the top of my head are this. Like, for Hot Wheels, you could also lean into ridiculousness. I mean, it'd be no more absurd than anything you've seen in the more recent Fast and Furious movies. And in regards to Master Universe, I'm still interested in that one, obviously. It's basically the opposite side of the coin, and I gotta say, hey, and the obvious Phineas and Verb setup here is like, if I had a nickel for every a creator driven film with still existential themes unique ways that came out this weekend I've seen to have two nickels. This isn't a lot, but it's a way that's happened twice. So I will give this a very a pink 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5, and now on to coming attractions. Okay, so Friday will be the Haunted Mansion movie reboot, and even though, I will admit the other one from 2003 does cast a long shadow, oh, I definitely think this reboot has a few more things going for it, given how it seems to be tonally closer to the ride, with dark humor, the fact it's going to be PG-13, and also the cast has everyone from Danny DeVito to Keith Steinfeld, as well as Owen Wilson. I just hope it's good. I mean, like, not every one of the theme park adaptations of the Pirates of the Caribbean will success. I mean, but this one definitely has enough time for a reboot. Heck, even like that one with the Muppets they had was actually pretty decent. So there you go. So August 2nd, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. I am definitely still eager to finish work on my Fiction Timothy 3 video before that happens. And I definitely am very excited to see this one, and also I've been listening to like the track list they announced for the soundtrack quite extensively. Not just like the track called Quest one they initially said was going to be on there, but also from ODB to who DMX is going to be on there. Lots of abbreviations, and yes, they're very much making good on their pro skater influence. I mean, I would say that of all the IPs I could see a Microsoft reviving now that the merger with Activision Blizzard more or less finalized, maybe they could try taking their crack at remastering Pro Skater 3 and 4 since the initial patch fell through. Yeah. August 4th, Make 2 The Trench, which looks every bit as absurd as the original does, and more. Or with Jason Statham returning into his role, and I still very much can tell it's not going to be taken so too seriously when you have now 3 megalodons on what appears to be sea monsters, and also Jason doing like a corkscrew turn on a jet ski. And even though the serious shark film isn't completely gone, we still have ones like a 47 meters down here, a shallows there. Most of them have basically designed themselves the more absurd elements of that subgenre, and I'm all for it. I mean, like I said, it's kind of one the best viewed if you don't think too hard, and maybe have like someone like the Mountain Dew Frostbite by your side, like the Shark Dew. Yeah. August 18th, Blue Beetle, and now some of my concerns are now starting to be raised by other people in the business, where because of the triple whammy of underperformances of Black Adam, The Flash, and the Shazam sequel, now this film is tracking to open and well below initial estimates. It's the lowest one in the DCEU in its near 10-year existence. For reference, it's tracking below both Wonder Woman 84 and the Suicide Squad in 2021. Those both opened deep in the pandemic and simultaneously on streaming, which is not a good sign. At this point, I'm not going to be surprised if they just decide to walk it back to max at this point, where given how it was originally made for that, and even though the second and preview who was a bit better put together than the first one, it's still not something that would want to see right away. Even and that seems to be the consensus. Like, I still have the same plan. Going to talk about upgrade then instead, and if possible, maybe Shin Kamen Rider, because I feel like all of these writers in Japan have done the whole concept of like the insectoid off of a reluctant hero theme much better, especially in the younger versions. Anyway, that'll be all for how to see for now, and let's go party.